YouTube tarot reader, Lisa Lee, has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Yes, indeed. What will your cards say? Good evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome to Beyond Authentic here on the YouTube Spaces. Sorry, I'm just pulling up my trousers. I've sat down and nearly put my trousers down at the same time. Nobody needs that on the interwebs. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Authentic. I hope that everybody is doing well. Good evening to Patricia. Good evening to Jay, the Nibbling. Hello, Nibbling. I'm glad you are here, my darling. How are you doing? There was some lovely applause. I don't know whether that's gone through. Hopefully you can hear that. I can't really. Oh, I've just realised why I can't hear anything in my in-ear is because as I've sat down, I've pulled it out of the thing. So yes, yes. Let me just plug that in. So there we go. Right then. So that means I need to turn that down again. There we go. I know, I've got the sound effects working. How cool is that? Anyway, good evening, everybody. I hope you are well. It's not going very well, this, is it, to start? I've just had a live stream with some of the members that was incredibly useful because at the very beginning I was okay. I'm sorry about that, but there's always this. Yeah, it's always a red alert with that one, Jay. I will. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that on a live stream, but yes, I think you're right. But anyhow, good evening, everybody. As I was saying, I've just been on the members only live stream. By the way, you can join the membership. Look, it's telling you how just up here. And I was discussing how this week I have mainly been sorting out the sound on the YouTubes. So I've finally managed to get my system to work so I can actually play things properly. It's been an incredibly difficult time to make sure that things would play. It's been a lot of hard work and a lot of trial and error. So yeah, it's been difficult, but anyway, it's all good. I am not going to moan about, she says moaning about, but I'm not going to moan about first world problems. Good evening, Jean XO. Hello and happy Saturday, Sunday to everyone. Is it Saturday somewhere? Is it still Saturday somewhere? I get very confused about these time zone things, you know. So one of my favourite YouTubers, Emily D. Baker, she's a lawyer. And she does lots of legal streams and things. And she'll, if you sign up to her app, it's a free app. No, this isn't sponsored by her. Although, Emily D. Baker, if you are ever watching any of my content, I think you are amazing. Please message me. I would love to be just like, I would love to ask you questions. But anyway, she has this, oh, I've lost my train of thought now. I completely lost my train of thought. Anyway, her live streams are amazing. She's got all these soundboard things and everything else that she does. But on her app, I remembered it, she sends out a notification and it will be something like, I'm going live covering the ... trial or ... case. And she'll say, going live at 6 p.m. ET and 9 p.m. GBFT or something, PCT, PST, PDT, PPPD, PPDPPT, some sort of time scale, right? And I go, okay, I want to watch that. I'll set up a YouTube notification, but that only kind of works if I'm on YouTube. So, right. And then I have to go and ask the computer what time so and so time, EST or PDTBTV is in Great British time, because I've got no idea. It confuses me so much. So we did a live stream the other week on a Thursday evening. I think it was it Thursday evening? I think it was like it. So it was officially midnight Thursday night into Friday morning, right? So technically midnight Friday morning. But I got really confused, so I set it up for the day before, thinking that Thursday midnight was Thursday midnight, but Thursday midnight is actually on a Thursday, not on a Friday. So that was really awkward. And then all the mods got confused. Everybody got confused. And it was just a shit show. And to be honest, there were lots and lots of people coming in from different time zones, which confused me even more, because people were going, "Oh, good morning." And I'm like, but it's midnight. Yeah, we're going to have to do another one, Neil. We might have to make it maybe a fortnightly or a monthly or even a weekly at some point, because I really enjoyed it as well. Beyond Authentic After Dark. That's what we need to do, where we do lots of late night streaming. Anyway, good evening to everybody here. It's amazing to see you. Thank you ever so much for being here. Oh, there's still a delay, isn't there? There's a second delay. That would have been so much better.
Oh my.
Don't mind a second delay every now and again, but you know what I'm saying, right? So then we are going to be doing some tarot readings here tonight. And I've got to say, this is the first stream where I can actually hear my own voice with a slight echo in my ear. So just please do bear that in mind. It's very, very strange for me. But we're going to do some tarot readings. Now, how do you get a tarot reading on this channel? Well, to be fair, it's actually incredibly easy. But there are some house rules. So we're going to do the house rules first. Maybe I should make this into a little video clip. But anyway, so if you want a tarot reading here, you do have to remember a couple of points. The first is that tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life, and tarot should never, ever be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. You've also got to be 18 years of age or over to get a reading on this channel. And please remember, do not put personal information into the live chat. Okay, we are a fantastic community here. We've got a fantastic group of mods. I'm incredibly lucky to have a very, very, very capable group of mods. So it is a safe place here on the internet for people to share and people to ask questions. But please don't dox yourself. That's really important. Don't put personal information out there that can come back and bite you on the arse in 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 years time, whatever it is. Just remember, what you put onto the internet is likely there for life. So please just remember that at all times. That being said, how do you actually get a reading on this channel? Well, it's quite simple. There are 2 ways to get a reading. I'm just sending the link over to the chat. So there are 2 ways. The first way is to go ahead and send a super chat. Send your question as a super chat. It comes through automatically on a particular screen that I've got access to. The other way is to wait until we open up a reading, which we're just about to do. And when we do that, it's time for you, if you would like a free reading, to pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. That is really important. If it doesn't have the question in front, I might not see it. I might not include it in the round. And then what I will do is I will choose one of the questions in that round at random. If we get 2 questions in, we toss the talisman. If we get more than 2 questions in, then I will go through it and basically pick it blind. If there's only 1 question, that lucky person gets that reading. For everybody whose question isn't read, I'll advise you to just copy or select and copy your question and hold it for the next free round. Okay, all of that being said, I think it is time. Shall we go ahead and officially open a round? Let's do it. The round is now open. If you would like a question, go ahead, put it into the live chat, starting with the word question, and or send it as a super chat. This in case you didn't understand that, here's a handy little video with all of that information. Okay, right then, let's have a look in the comments. GeneXO, it looks like you're the only one to have asked a question, so you are going to get the first question on this round. Yeah, the super chat button is a kind of $ just below on the chat bit where you type your question. It's just next to there, I believe. Right then, so GeneXO, you are the first person today. You're the first reading. Press the wrong button then. I know, right? So the sound effects and everything else may be working, but it doesn't mean that I am fully technically minded. Just put it that way, because I've got a feeling, oh no, look, that camera is pretty much perfect today, perfect position. So we're going to turn on the little light and we're going to go ahead and start the reading for today. So then, as always, we have to ring the bell. Now I've turned that on, are you picking up a little bit of fuzziness, or is that just me? Oh no, it definitely is a bit of fuzziness, so that's something I'm going to have to look at after this. So maybe there's going to be days more work. Anyhow, right, let's go ahead. There we go. So we cleanse the space and we bring in Wispy, who is our air elemental. Good evening, Ellis. We are going to shuffle the cards. And I just realised I need to be on the other... Hang on, have I highlighted that? Nope, there we go. That's why. Need to be on the other screen. So there we go. Right then, Wispy. The first question tonight, the first cab off the rank. GeneXO would like to know, what are the Virgo's feelings? God, I wish I could stop. So my hands have been bad this week. Just to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes there. My hands have been pretty dodgy with the old fibro. So I'm not going to worry too much about me just randomly throwing cards around. You know, I'm not a card slinger, but we'll see how it goes. So, Wispy, what are the Virgo's feelings for GeneXO, intentions and next actions? Let's have a look. So, what's going to happen with the Virgo? Come on, get in there. Thank you. Right then. So, we'll cut your cards. I love the way the microphone is now a little bit clearer. So, it's picking up the sound of the shuffling. That's really cool. I like that. Here we go then. So we're going to look at where you are at the moment with the Virgo, what you need to know, so the intentions, and what's likely, or what the opportunity is for things to happen, put it that way. So then let's have a look where you are. Oh, the Knight of Cups. Cups is quite good. The High Priestess coming in with what you need to know, and the King of Cups reversed coming in on the future. So I don't know why I'm putting that back in there. That's stupid. Let me just pop them on the top. There we go. So first of all, you have got a Major Arcana card here. Before I get to her, we've got the Knight of Cups. Now this is coming up in the where you are position. So Cups is all about emotions. Cups is your emotional suit. Knights are the ones that act first, think later. They are the reactionary people in the decks. They're the ones who go in all guns blazing. They don't really think about the repercussions of their actions too much. Cups is okay for a suit for a knight, but it's very much, it's, how can I put this? The Knight of Cups possibly could be an indication that the Virgo is a player. Okay, just bear that in mind, because it's sort of that element of, if you imagine in the olden medieval times when we had knights and all of that lot. I think that's when it was. But anyway, when we had knights and kings of the realm and all of that rubbish, the knights would go off gallivanting for months. So you'd have the wife at home in the kingdom, but there would also be other people that the knight would call upon on cold, lonely evenings, or warm spring evenings, or lovely, bright summer days, or whatever it would be. And the knights would call upon them. So, and not necessarily do a lot of pillaging, but the knights would, that's what they did. And so the knights in a tarot deck, they're the ones that still have that kind of, you know, they don't think about what's going on at home. They just think about, oh, I'm in this little village. Nobody knows that I've got a wife at home. It's a cool summer's evening, and there is a pretty maiden that I shall go a walking with, if you get my drift. Love is lane, canoodle, canoodle. Just maybe a little bit of, hang on. Oh, no, press the wrong one. Press the wrong one again. There you go. Oh, that took a long time, didn't it? So, yeah, could be a bit of a player, possibly. The High Priestess that's coming up in the What You Need to Know. The High Priestess is a really interesting card because she's all about following routine and being very, very, very aloof, proper, discreet. She's like the church leader. So you've got the Hierophant, who's like the guru, the teacher, the guide, and the High Priestess is the one who does things by the book. She's the cult leader. She's the one who is, you know, she's running the nunnery, if you like. When she's reversed, it's literally saying that a lot of that by the book isn't necessarily there. A lot of that has been kind of removed, so there's no longer that proper way of doing things, if you get my drift. Now, I'm not saying that the Virgo is wanting to cheat or is a cheat or is off doing, you know, whatever they want to be doing. But both of these cards are indicating that there isn't necessarily that element of by the books, following the rules. So it may well be that a monogamous relationship isn't for this person. It may well be that the two of you have decided that you don't want a monogamous relationship, or you're not at that going steady kind of phase at the moment. Where it's headed, we do have the King of Cups. Now, if this was the other way around, it would be looking at a really, really strong relationship, a strong king. The king, as the Virgo king, is really there. He's wanting to be connected. He's wanting to do all of these lovely things. But the king is reversed. And so it's saying that the king may be present, but maybe the king isn't looking for a queen right now. Maybe the King of Cups is looking for a concubine or three. So when we're talking about next actions and intentions, it may not be that the Virgo is wanting to settle down right now, long-term relationship right now, monogamy, all of that right now. It could be that they absolutely are. It could be that that's exactly what they're looking for, but a little way down the line. So yeah, I would say if you're having fun with this Virgo, then if that works for you and keeping it on a sort of fun level, a fun basis, then that sounds absolutely fine. But perhaps if this is something that you wanted to develop into a more permanent relationship, then maybe keep half an eye on where this is going and kind of what the Virgo might be doing, because it may well be that the Virgo isn't quite at that same point. Let me put it that way. So I hope that helps, Gene XO. I really do. Thank you ever so much for your question. And yeah, I hope that gives you some answers. But that is going to be your reading for today. And again, thank you for your question. Right, let me have a look in the live comments. Oh gosh, hang on. There we go. I'm getting my headphones stuck. This is going to be an interesting way of streaming. So yeah, let me just have a look at the comments section. Hearing my own voice is really odd. There we go. Where we go? No, it's the Knight of Cups. So yeah, you can see there the Knight of Cups. I had to look twice then. The Knight of Cups. Oh, right. Look, Knight of Cups, and you say you're not currently talking because he has to finalise his divorce. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. That makes perfect sense with what cards have come up. With that High Priestess being in the centre, that could well also be the wife. Okay, so that could be the wife, because that High Priestess is by the book, is literally like the High Priestess in the tarot deck is the one who would probably marry people if the devil wasn't around. But it would be a very pious wedding, you know what I mean? It would be, you're both baptized in this High Priestess's church and blah blah blah. But that could well be the wife. But it makes perfect sense that these cards have come up in that situation, because it may well be that your Virgo, after escaping a marriage or leaving a marriage in whatever way, maybe they're not looking for that again. But that does make perfect sense. So yes, thank you ever so much for your question, Jean, and I hope, as I say, I hope that helps. Oh look, no worries at all, my darling. Thank you ever so much for being here. Okay, so then if you would like a tarot reading, then again, there are two ways of doing it. The first way is to go ahead and send it as a super chat. That comes directly through to myself, and you also get a longer reading. If, however, you would like to gamble on getting yourself a free reading, this is probably a good time to do it, because the numbers are fairly low on the stream right now. So if you are wanting to get yourself a free live tarot reading, then you can go ahead and put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and that will come through to I will pick one of those at random. Either way, the round is open now, and here's a handy little video recap of what I just said. Wow, it looks like we're really quiet here on the YouTubes. So yes, indeed. Do let me know if you are wanting a reading. It is extremely quiet here this evening. So if, as I was about to say, if anybody is out there that wants a reading, just go ahead and send it through as a question. In the meantime, I do have to say ever some thank you to the mods, and particularly thank you to, well, to everybody who has joined up our membership, because we do now have YouTube memberships open here on this platform, and we do get some interesting live chats. We did just have a live chat. There was very little. In fact, I don't think there was a single question or a single discussion around tarot. It was all about the well, it was all about everything else, really. We were talking all sorts about our youth, about how wonderful times were before CCTV cameras and YouTube and Twitter and TikTok and all of these things existed, when we could get away with doing pretty much what we want as long as we were home when the street lights came home. So, you know, lots of kind of old people reminiscing about childhoods. But yes, one of our lovely mods is Holland, and Holland does have an Etsy shop where they make and produce lots of really cool witchy and Celtic and druidic kind of items. So if you're interested in anything like that, do please check them out. Blue Chalice is a small business making crafty creations for the witchy community. From jewellery to wall hangings, witch bells to altar tiles. Why not have a look at bluechalice.etsy.com. Yes, indeed. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just trying desperately to do that. There we go. Right then, let's... yes, so yeah, do please go and check out Holland over at Blue Chalice. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I've got to say, Necro Neil was talking about... I don't know where everybody is as we're watching this, obviously, but if you're in the UK, if you're up in Yorkshire... What was that accent? Yorkshire. Having this in my ear, here we go. If you're up in Yorkshire, there you go. I can't do it. That's a new discovery. I can't do really dodgy accents with my in-ears in, so that's new. But yes, if you are up in Yorkshire, Hebden Bridge, there is a brand new witchcraft shop in Hebden Bridge. Is there a witchcraft shop near where you live, wherever you are in the world? Do let us know if there is, because I really, 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 really am interested in visiting some this year. Good evening, Ed. I hope you are well. So there is still a shop in Leeds that was online called Sorcerer's Apprentice, and I am desperate to... In fact, I'm just going to have to order something from them and see if they're still actually ordering. So yeah, I will probably just have to go ahead and place a bid and order something from them. They've got a website that is still running, not place a bid, but place an order. They've got a website that's still running. And so, yeah, I do kind of need to check that out, really, to see if it is still there. There is a few sort of crystally shops in Leeds, but apparently, apparently they're, well, I know that they're not the best, but Hebden Bridge isn't that far from me, so I do need to go and check that out. That'll be interesting. Moonstone Magic in Keighley. That sounds interesting. I do need to go and check those out. The Curios, Curious Goods in the Shambles in Chesterfield. Yeah, absolutely. If we ever come through Chesterfield, then I will absolutely have a look for that, because it does sound like it sounds like that's right up my street. It really does. Gaia in Hexham closed a few months ago. It was there for 25 years. Bloody hell. There was one in Southampton as well. I can't remember what it's called. I always just call it the Witchy Shop. But whenever I used to go back down there and go and see relatives and things, they're all dead now, but whenever I did, then I would go and check that one out. Good evening, Jack Griffith. I hope you are well. Perhaps we should have a mod squad day out to Hebden Bridge. Well, York Pride is coming up very, very soon on I think it's the 1st of June. And I do quite like going over and doing that. So maybe we need a few trips out. So what about you, Jack? Where are you in the world, and do you have a witchcraft shop nearby? We're currently a little bit slow on the tarot readings today. We are few, us merry few, if that makes sense. Hot Sun, if you would like a question, you need to go ahead and pop the word question into the doodah. Oh, excuse me, that's my coffee repeating on me. You loved Hebden Bridge and probably be at York Pride. You'll have to see if you can say hello to us. I will be there with I think I'm going with the Nibbling and several of their very young friends. So, help. Yeah, help. Because I will need slightly more adult conversations than what could be happening is all I'm going to say, really. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to get into trouble. But I will probably, in all likelihood, be at York Pride. So yes, that does sound like something I will be up for. So if you're up for saying hello, then come and say hello, Ellis. I won't be doing tarot reading on that day, though. I may well be having an adult libation or 3. But yes, you'll be the bridge between you and the nibbling in terms of age. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not the nibbling, because the nibbling's actually really, really like grown up. It's the nibbling's friends, which are also really... I'm just aware that the nibbling's friends may well be listening to this. So the nibbling's friends are all lovely. They are just all quite young people. And I am quite old person now. So yes, but I would definitely, I keep saying definitely, probably, but I would definitely be over at York Pride this year, because it does sound like fun, to be honest, and I need some more fun. Right, let me, okay. Bear with me 1 second, everybody. I just need to jump on to, I've just got a message from YouTube about the video. Let me have a look. Where's the... Hang on. Why am I not... I tell you what. Oh, hang on. Right. I need to sort something on this end. So bear with me 1 second. Thank you, Patricia. Bear with me 1 second. I need to click on the YouTube button. So I'm gonna press this, because we do now have channel memberships available. I'm going to open up a free round straight after this message. Okay, the next round is now officially open. Go ahead and pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, or you can send it across as a super chat. Either way, the next round is officially open right now. Go ahead and pop your questions in. Yes, indeed. Right then, let's have a look at the questions. So I've got 2 questions in. Ooh, that means it is time to do a special thing. Hang on, let me just turn that one off. And I need to press the button, so I need to get it ready. Here we go. So we got 2 questions in, everybody. So regular viewers here will know exactly what that means. Do not worry about my rather frantic expression. Honestly, I haven't lost the bag at all. Honest, it is absolutely somewhere here on my desk. 100%. I haven't moved it. Honest. At least I don't think I've moved it. Maybe I have moved it. What the hell have I done with it now? Okay, so do I have... Oh no, right, okay, we're good. We're good to go. Oh my Lord, I thought I'd lost them there. Yes, there we go. I've got the bag of talismans. Welcome to life as an ADHD streamer. Right, so then, this is a talisman toss. So when I've got 2 questions in, the fairest way to determine the random person who gets the reading is to toss a coin. Well, that's boring. You know, this is a witchy tarot channel to do with tarot readings. So it's much more important that we have a talisman toss. This talisman is the spirit element, and we know that because it helpfully says that here on the back. So then we can toss the talisman. So that's what we do. So what I do is I go on the chat, excuse me, and I look at the time the two questions came in and the order they came in. So they came on the same second, sorry, the same minute. Hot Sun, yours came in first. So your question will be the talisman side, if that makes sense. And the writing side, that will be Milena Masterson. Okay, so talisman side is Hot Sun, and Milena Masterson, yours is the spirit side. Right then, let's have a look. We always toss it with the talisman side, with the talisman, the sigil side up, and I have to put my arm here to stop it rolling across the floor, because even though this is one of those, you know, edged talismans, it's not round, it does still roll everywhere. So then let's have a quick toss. There we go, and it's come up sigil side up, which means Hot Sun, you are the person with the question today, so you get the question in this round. Milena Masterson, go ahead and select and copy your question for the next time that we open a round, or if you want to guarantee that yours is next and get a longer reading, then you can send yours through as a super chat. Thank you, Holland. There's nothing I can do about the sound on videos that are in StreamYard apart from re-edit them, so that will be a job for me in the next couple of weeks or so. But anyway, you might come along to York Pride. Yes, it is fairly simple to get to. Oh, I feel a train journey to York Pride coming on. Just realized your hob and grill are working, so a cheese on toast, that sounds amazing. What you should do is a what do they call it, croque monsieur. A croque monsieur. It's a cheese sandwich with cheese on the top, basically. This posh cheese sandwich. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's get the question going. So, Hot Sun, your question is... There we go. It is on screen. Why is it not on screen? There we go. It is on screen. I'm going on the other screen, and Hot Sun, your question's coming up right now. Okay, as always, we are ringing the bell. We cleanse the energy around us that way. And I'm bringing in Wispy's music. So Wispy is the air elemental dragon that I communicate with, and that basically goes to the Akashic records and delivers the knowledge into my brain. There's a whole podcast episode down in the description box if you would like to go and check that out. Also, by the way, if you are on that there Instagram, we are now going to be posting a lot more on Instagram, and that may well include some Instagram shorts at some point, so make sure you are subscribed, follow, I can't remember what it is over on Instagram, but make sure you do the media things on Instagram as well. Just look out for Beyond Authentic. I believe that's what it's called, Neil. Yes, I think that's what it's called. Neil will put it in the chat if that's wrong. Anyway, right then, Hot Sun. Wispy, Hot Sun wants to know, what are Matt's energies towards them? What is Matt feeling towards Hot Sun? So then, let's have a look. Let's have a look. There we go. So then, don't forget, if you send your question through as a super chat, you do get a longer reading, plus 10% of any money that comes in after YouTube takes its 35% cut, whatever that is. Any money that's left that comes through, we do send 10% to two of the bladder cancer charities here in the UK. One is Fight Bladder Cancer, and the other one is Bladder Cancer UK. They're the ones that helped me out whilst I was dealing with bladder cancer a couple of years back. Right, I don't know whether I did the cut, but it's telling me to cut again. There we go. It's a fairly straightforward cut, that one. Right, let's have a look. So, really? That's interesting. So this is the same card in the same place as the last reading. And you saw me shuffling them. I shuffled them a lot. And then the Ten of Swords and the Fool. Right, Wispy, what are you doing telling me about this Knight of Cups? There's a lot of Knight of Cups energy going on in the chat. So, the Knight of Cups. This is within the where you are position, okay? So, as I said earlier, Knights are they're the people in the tarot that act first, think later, okay? The Knights are the ones that go charging in. The Knights are the ones that are quite reactive, okay? They don't respond, they react to issues. So if something comes up that they're unhappy about, they will act first, think later. They're very quick to judgment, basically. Now the thing about the Knight of Cups is all about emotions. So this is saying that Matt's energies towards you, this is where you are, this is what you need to know, and this is the outcome or potential outcome for the future. Matt's feelings towards you, it feels like it's quite sudden, but maybe quite full on, because the way the Knights react, they are, you know, these are the people that, oh look, there's a pretty person over there, I want to date that pretty person. Here, pretty person, have some flowers, have my card, have this bottle of very strong alcohol, now let's go a walking. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of, they like people when they see them. They're not necessarily the ones that are in this for the long term, full on relationships with hearts and flowers and monogamy and all of that, right? That's just not who the Knights are. They're very, very good at falling in love, very bad at maintaining relationships, put it that way. The Ten of Swords is what you actually need to know. Now, Swords is your trouble in strife suit. Swords is your suit that's all about challenges, obstacles, things like that. And one of the things that everybody here knows me for is that I always say the 9 is when something is full, but the 10 is when it's overflowing. So this is reflective of hurdles, challenges, things like that. Each one of these pins you could say is a hurdle, but which one was the final hurdle? Which one is the one that actually cost this bird its presence here in the physical? Because you can see the bird has unfortunately passed, but the spirit, the soul, has been placed into this egg, and that egg is going to be reborn somewhere else, with obviously, hopefully, fingers crossed, a new body. So the soul is already going up for reincarnation. But the life here of this particular bird, that was the last hurdle, the last challenge. It was too much. So this is basically indicative of there being issues behind the scenes. So it may well be that Matt is interested, but he brings with lots and lots and lots of challenges, put it that way. Now, these could be physical challenges, it could be emotional challenges, it could be things that he is just wanting from a relationship that maybe you don't. Maybe this reflecting back with the Knight, maybe there's an issue that you want monogamy and he doesn't. Things like that often come up when we're looking at the Knight and the cards that give us the insight. Now, the potential to come, don't be too upset that this is the Fool. This is not saying you are foolish or that Matt is foolish, but the Fool is one of those cards where it's the very start. So this card, look, it's neither positive nor negative. It's the 0 card. So this is a complete restart. This is reversed. So it is saying that this complete starting from scratch might not be what you want to do. It may well be that this type of relationship has some boundary issues or things that you aren't comfortable with. It may well be that Matt wants to be with you but also not be exclusive. Again, this sounds very similar to the earlier reading. Is this going to be what we're getting today, Wispy? But the Fool is very interesting because the Fool is the first tarot card. It's numbered 0 because it is the start and end pretty much of everything. We go from the Fool's journey all the way through to the world, and the world is depicted with an Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. So that's talking about the cycle, which then goes back to the Fool to start the journey over. when the Fool is reversed, it's literally saying that there are going to be things here that you aren't wanting to learn, things that you aren't necessarily wanting to, a journey you don't necessarily want to go down, but it's not going to be a harmful journey. It's going to be a journey of discovery. So again, be mindful. If you and Matt are looking at starting a relationship again, just be mindful of where you are right now. Again, the tarot reading for here, this isn't going to be for years and years and years to come. This is going to be where you are right now and what is coming up. This isn't going to be the same reading in 5 years' time. Do you get what I'm saying? Because in 5 years' time, it might not be that the knight would come up. It might be the king who wants more security. It might be a completely different suit coming up. But for now, this is saying that it could be a fun relationship. It could be a learning relationship, but there are going to be some hurdles and some challenges along the way. Now, that might be something that opens up your horizons, and it may well be you've never been interested in, for example, a throuple, and all of a sudden you're like, yay, that sounds like fun. Or it may well be that, I don't know, you know, it could be anything. It could be anything within the boundaries of a relationship that maybe your eyes will be slightly more opened, and that may be something you want to try, new things, experimentation. If that isn't for you though, do please remember that you set your own boundaries in your life, okay? But that is going to be your reading for today, Hot Sun, and I hope it helps. This is going to be an interesting one. Whenever the Fool comes up in the future, it always makes me quite, I don't know, there's mixed emotions with the Fool in the future, because it's saying you're going to be starting a whole new journey, which sounds really, really interesting. But from my perspective, I'm, you know, this middle-aged woman with bloody fibromyalgia now. So starting over in anything just feels exhausting. It just feels like too much work, to be honest. But anyway, I hope that helps, Hot Sun. And that is going to be your reading for today. Right then, let's jump back into the live chat, because obviously I don't know whether you know. Oh, thank you, Sophie Kang. I've seen a message from you. Sophie, I can't keep answering that question, my darling. I can't keep answering that question. You're asking the same question over and over. You're asking what are Raja's feelings for you. Well, they're not going to have changed that much in a week or two. I'll have a look in just a second. Right, let me just go through the chat. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. The music is, yeah, I will try and reduce the music down. Really, you're getting the thunderstorms in Harrogate or near Harrogate. That's cool. Right, let me have a look. Let me have a look. Anything else in the live chat? Hot Sun, that doesn't sound good. It's not that it doesn't sound good, my darling. It just sounds like there are challenges. And the thing about relationships is challenges are pretty interesting. Do you know what I mean? And there should always be challenges in relationship. You should always challenge each other in little ways. It doesn't mean that challenges in good ways are... Challenges don't have to be bad, put it that way. You know, you could challenge each other to try something new, and that might be a new restaurant, or, you know, a new drink, a new getting a puppy for the first time, or whatever else. It could be something completely different, but challenges are quite good for, and again, they don't have to be like, do this or we're through. A challenge could simply be like, okay, we're going to a brand new restaurant. You don't really like, you know, food from other countries, but let's go to a buffet where there's 15 different countries represented, and let's do some little nibbly tasting. And if you don't like anything, you've not lost anything, because you can just go and pile up your plate with chips and burgers. Do you know what I mean? Things like that could be really interesting. Anyway, I hope that helps, and yeah, no problem at all. Right then, Sophie Kang, I'm going to go on to your reading next. Don't forget, everybody, if you are looking for a reading right away, just pop your question into the live chat, my darling, so that I can see your question. I've got this super chat. Thank you very much for that. but it hasn't come through with your question attached. So then, Sophie Kang, I will read this question again for you, but please be very mindful. I don't want you wasting your money, my darling, because although it's £2, we're in a tough economic time, and £2 might be an awful lot of money for yourself, and I don't want you wasting it on a reading that isn't going to provide any real clarity or anything particularly different from before. But yes, let me just go and have a wee look, and I will get your reading up straight after. Come on, brain, this one.
We have a super strong connection here, right? Oh my God!
Yes, indeed. Right then, so let's... I don't know how loud that is, because I've changed all... Oh gosh, I've changed all of the settings. So I don't know how loud that is in person. But right then, Wispy, Sophie Kang would like to know, what are Raj's true feelings for them? What are Raj's true feelings for Sophie Kang? So then we're going to have a look at this. I'm going to do a 6-card reading, Sophie, and we're going to look at the conscious and the subconscious. So let's do your drop. Oh, okay. Fairly standard drop. Nothing jumping out at being awkward. So then we'll do the... okay, what you want, what Raj wants, where your relationship is headed on the surface level. And we'll have a look at the subconscious. So what is going on behind the scenes, under the surface, the influence level, if you like. Right. Oh God, that's really interesting. Right. Okay. Okay. I know you hate it. I was just talking to the chat earlier on the members only stream, and I was saying that when I was on radio, excuse me, when I was on radio, we do all sorts of things. One of the things we were taught to do is basically to do like a wee little promo, and it would go something like this, where you'd go, oh, so pretend, right? I'm not going to do it today, Sophie, but pretend, right? You'd go, wow, these are really interesting cards. Look, they've all come up. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you about this tarot reading after a word from our sponsor. And then you'd hit a button and it would say something like, are you traveling down the motorway at speed? Blah, 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 blah. And then there'd be like 3 minutes of adverts. So this is, whenever I say, oh, interesting, in the back of my head, it's like, don't say that, because people are going to be listening going, what the hell is interesting? Get to the interesting bit. But it's all interesting. So the what you want from the relationship. We got the 6 of Wands. Wands is about security, confidence, that sort of thing. And this is saying that I think you put your confidence in the way that other people see you. And I think your confidence is very much built around community. 6s are about communities. So this is really saying that a lot of your identity is built about how other people see you and what other people think, basically. And it may well be that you tell yourself, oh, I don't care what they think, but actually you do. Actually, deep down, you really do, but you don't say that out loud. So in terms of a relationship with Raj, it does feel like you are a little bit insecure about how you and Raj are going, and that perhaps this is why you need a little bit of confirmation, a little bit of comfort, maybe a little bit of recognition in that sort of manner, if that makes sense. The way Raj is feeling, we've got the 3 of Pentacles. So it feels like there's a certain element here that Raj may be interested in actually taking things to the next level eventually. So the 3s, often for me, the 2 is a couple coming together. The 3 is when you look at children or pets, or, you know, taking things to the next level, moving in together, things like that. And Pentacles is the work, career, finance, but it's also growth. And so it could well be here that maybe Raj is looking at earning more money for the family. So he's already thinking in those terms. Or maybe he's thinking about, you know, earning enough money to buy a house. Whatever it is, it's about what he wants from this relationship is for him to be able to build some level of financial security and work towards that. So whether that is he's concentrating on work, or whether that is he's concentrating on, you know, getting enough cash in, whatever it is, it feels very monetarily based rather than this being about growth within the relationship. And where you're headed, we've got the moon, but the moon is reversed. So the moon normally would indicate a certain amount of navel gazing. So this is one of the depictions of the moon. We often get a full moon with animals howling. In this deck, we've got this person sat staring at the moon. On a full moon night, on a ritual night, they are absolutely staring at the moon. I'm not going to sing songs, but anyway, so they are obviously in quite a spiritual zone, looking at and somehow trying to communicate with the moon. This is reversed. So I think there's an element here of what I call navel gazing, which is basically treading water, not wasting time, but a little bit of time wasting, a little bit of just going through the motions until things get to a different point down the line. Now, again, that's neither positive nor negative. It's just reflective of what's happening. Can also be reflective of some sort of spiritual connection as well, because quite often the moon brings that. In the subconscious, the reason for your insecurity is coming from a broken heart in the past. The Three of Swords universally is the heartbreak card. In this deck, if I show you it right up close to which side, there you go, right up close to the camera, you can see that the wounds are actually being healed. So this is less of the initial heartbreak, and this is the post heartbreak card in this deck, which I really, really love, because it shows that even though heartbreaks can really take us to our absolute limit, they are healable. This thread has already stitched this this wound back up, so there is already healing happening. This is already in the past, but this is what's leading to your level of insecurity around how you see Raj, what's going on with him, and in some point needing that confirmation. Connecting Raj from the Three of Pentacles, you've got the King of Pentacles. He is really career minded. He's really financially. They often talk about, again, don't get this wrong, they talk about dogs as being either toy led, exercise led, or treat led. And basically those three categories, if you find a dog and that doggo doesn't respond to treats, it may be that they'll respond to lots and lots of exercise and lots of walking. If not, you know, so basically, again, it's saying that lots of dogs kind of are led by different things. Humans quite often are the same. So you get a lot of people who are really financially led. They are all about getting that nest egg, getting that, you know, that wealth, growing that wealth, continuing that cycle. They're really in that materialistic sort of space. Personally, that's always been the least of my concerns. As long as I've got enough money to pay for a roof over my head, food on my table, I don't really care about the rest. It's one of the reasons why I do readings on YouTube for £2 or for free ones. Like normally a 6-7 card reading would be a lot more than £2 if this was face to face. However, I don't really care about that. As long as I've got enough income from YouTube to pay for me doing YouTube, that's all I really care about. And again, that's the exact opposite to this King of Pentacles. It does feel like Raj is looking to continually build that nest egg, build that savings, build that financial profile. And then again, we've got a very similar card to the moon. The star for me is a wishful thinking card. And again, it's reversed. So I don't know how much Raj is thinking about the relationship. It feels far more that Raj's goals are financial, and that actually he's kind of, when he goes to bed at night, he's thinking about ways of making money. He's thinking about ways of growing his portfolio and doing all of that. He isn't necessarily thinking about ways that he can be a perfect husband, lover, partner, whatever. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. The only thing I would say with both of these cards, they are reversed. So that it does have a little element of perhaps some pie in the sky, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So maybe there is a lot of thinking and planning, but not necessarily a lot of action happening. So that's the one thing I would say, is that both of these cards are reversed. They're both major arcana cards, and one is talking about a spiritual connection and that kind of deeper intuitive connection, but it's reversed. And the other one is talking about that wishful thinking, goal planning, but that's also reversed. So maybe there is something here about constant planning and a lack of action. I don't know, but I will leave that with you, my darling. And there you go. I hope that answers your question. It does feel that perhaps, listen, perhaps Raj might not be the most loving, tactile person, but if he's doing this to make a better life for you and him together, then his love language might be, you know, dollar signs with pound signs and zeros attached to it. That might well be his love language, and that he's trying to show you how much he loves you by getting that bank account. I don't know, but that would be what the cards would suggest. Anyway, thank you very much, Sophie Kang. I hope that answers your question, but that is going to be your reading for today. Right then, let me swap the camera over and come back into the live comments. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So then let's have a wee look in the live chat. So here we go. Where is Sophie Cat? Why is that happening? There should not be any noises coming from my phone. It is on airplane mode. Where's your question, MM? Where's your question? There it is. I've got it. I've got it, MM. Thank you very much. You will be up next. Thank you very much for your super chat. I've got your question there. I will be able to do that in just a second. I'm just going to see if Sophie has commented. No, she hasn't. Okay, well, I hope that helps, Sophie. Thank you ever so much for your question. If you are new here, how do you get a question here on Beyond Authentic? Well, there are two ways. The first way is to do what MM and Sophie have done, which is to send a super chat. That can be any amount, and that will come through automatically and will guarantee that your reading is next. You can send a super chat at any time. If, however, you would like to wait until we open up a free round, that is also very, very possible. Just wait until I've done all of the super chats, and then you are able to go ahead and pop your question into the live chat. I haven't got a open round at the moment. I'm about to do a super chat, but if you are new here, just hang on in. Once I've done this next reading, it's the last super chat I've got on the books for now. I will go right ahead and open up another round after this. So then, MM, I've got your question, and I hope you are ready, my darling, because we're going to get into your tarot reading just about now.
We have a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God!
Okay, MM, let's have a look at your question. So, as always, oh gosh, we ring the bell. Hopefully, again, can somebody let me know if that's really loud in the chat? Hopefully it's not too loud. We're bringing in Wispy. If you don't know what Wispy is, by the way, I know I keep talking about Wispy as if he's very well known on the channel, but new channel members or new channel subscribers may not know who Wispy is. So Wispy is an egregore, or maybe he's a servitor, maybe he's a tulpa. He is a creation that I made in the image of a dragon. So if you imagine this sort of image, but made out of smoke and ether, a little bit of steam, a little bit of clouds, a little bit of wishes, a little bit of fairy dust, a bit of a sparkle, all of that. Air elemental is what Wispy is. And he is one of my 5 dragons, and he goes across to the Akashic records, gets the information that I need for the tarot reading, and depositors That's a good word, Lisa. Yeah. Deposits it in my brain. There is a whole... that sounds so weird. But there is a whole podcast episode down in the chat, down in the description box. If you go to just where the page break is, there's a whole link just there. Right then, let's go to your reading. We're bringing in Wispy. Good evening, Wispy, again. Hello, my friend. MM's in a difficult situation. They feel that they should fight back. Do we have any advice for MM? Gosh, cards. They feel that they should be fighting back in this situation. Okay, once again, I'm going to do the same spread. I'm going to do a 3 and a 3. So we'll go with conscious level, subconscious level. That sounds like the way forward. Right then, Wispy. There we go. So then let's have a look. I've been looking. Do you know what, everybody? I've been looking at a shuffling machine. One that I can put the cards into and you press a button and it goes... I don't know how that would work with Wispy, because there's a certain belief with tarot that as you're shuffling, the cards kind of influence their position. However the tarot system works, as you shuffle the cards, obviously I believe that Wispy's involved, but whatever, as you shuffle the cards get shuffled in a particular way. I don't know whether that would work with machine mechanics that's designed to do everything a certain way. Again, the argument would be that where I cut the cards, okay, where I cut the cards, that would be... Really? Wow, okay. I mean, you've seen me shuffle them, you've seen me cut them, and wow. I put these separate as well in the deck. How is that even possible? How is that even possible? Okay, it's because this is the cards that need to come up. Okay, we're just going, how is that even possible? Like, these two were next to each other, but I put one in the deck here and one in the deck somewhere else. And as they've shuffled, they've found themselves again. How there we go. That's Wispy doing. You see, this is where when people talk about how tarot can be controlled and manipulated and all of that, I honestly don't know how, because you saw me put these cards in at different points in the deck and you saw me shuffle them, and yet this is the third reading in a row where we've got repeat cards coming up. Fascinating. Anyway, so this is what where you are, this is what you need to know, and this is the potential future outcome. So where you are right now, the 3 of Swords, difficult situation. Has it caused heartbreak? Because again, as I said earlier, this is the universal heartbreak card. So it is really telling us that there is... Now again, heartbreak doesn't necessarily mean a broken heart from a lover. It could be a friend that's done you wrong. It could be somebody in the family that's done you wrong. But it's somebody who you've trusted who has broken that trust and therefore to a certain extent broken your heart. If it is a lover or a partner, then that again ties directly in. But this is that heartbreak card, and this is in the where you are. So whatever this difficult situation is, sorry, I've just realized the camera was wobbling because I get so into the readings. This difficult situation does honestly feel like it is connected to your emotional side, and it does feel that you've been through the ringer recently. The Knight of Swords again is coming up in your what you need to know, and this is a warning because this is saying that I think this is how you are feeling right now. And the Knights are, again, they are the people that are very quick to act. So when it says you feel you should fight back, this is the card that's a little bit of a warning. This is basically your, I guess, you know, that idea of having an angel and a devil on your shoulder. This would almost be the devil on your shoulder, because it's saying, look, go and get them. Go on, go and get them. Don't let them get away with it. Go and hit them over the head. Go and get them. Go on, go and pick up a trash can and puncture them, or, you know, go and take them up onto this. These are all wrestling references. I was about to say, go and take them up on the top of a cage and then throw them through the announcer's desk. It's that sort of thing where you're wanting to react and to physically or emotionally hit back. Do you know what I mean? But again, this the reason I'm saying that is knights are the teenage energy and swords are the trouble and strife and challenge energy, and this is coming up in what you need to know. So I think this is the warning for you. It's saying, look, don't follow that emotional reaction, because it will lead down a particular path which I don't think is positive. We've got the moon again, that has come up in the potential outcome, and in this case again, the moon does talk about spirituality and it does talk about a connection, but this is reverse, which is saying that I don't know if you are a religious person or somebody of faith, and maybe reacting in this way, fighting back physically or emotionally, would go against your true self, your deeper beliefs. Because I've been in that situation myself where, you know, things have happened and I really, really wanted and deserved revenge. Not just revenge, vengeance, justice. You know, where you go, oh, that person deserves the worst things to happen to them. And it's actually like, well, actually, I don't believe that anybody deserves the worst things in life to happen to them, but I believe they should maybe get a touch of karma. And it's sort of that. It's like, be careful, because it feels like it would disjoint your worldview almost in a way. Subconsciously, however, there is the star is a card that's often linked in with setting goals, because for me the star is linked to I'm wishing on a star, and that's great. But a goal, a wish is not the same as a goal. You can wish that you'll be a millionaire. You can wish to win the lottery. But if you don't play the lottery and you're not actively trying to make money or something, then none of that is going to happen. Do you know what I mean? And the star, when it's reversed, is quite often talking about that sort of a wish is not the same as a goal, and that actually you need to set goals to be able to move forward. So again, it feels like the heartbreak has happened because there were perhaps okay, Wispy, thank you. It feels like there was a future plans and future goals in place that went wrong. That's what Wispy's just given me. So whatever this was, it feels like you were led to believe that there would be a potential future that would go this way, and then it hasn't. And that's where this heartbreak or severe disappointment has come from. This Knight of Swords, this action, it's also saying that you don't want to forgive or move on. So whatever this was, it's really cut deep. I mean, literally with the broken heart. But the Ace of Cups coming in here is saying you don't want to let this go. You're like a dog with a bone. You do not want to get karma. You want to get vengeance and justice. And sometimes this reaction can be really, really negative on us. It's again, if you're regular here, you would have heard me say this, but it's like the Buddhist quote of, you know, the person that picks up the hot coal from the fire to throw at their neighbor in revenge is the first person to get burnt. And that's kind of where this is coming from. It's like, this is saying that you really want revenge here. You know, you've got the sword, you're cycling, you're on the way to go and I challenge you to a duel to the death, sir, and we will fight and all of that. And this is saying you do not want to let this go. You're so emotionally still kept in that moment by this heartbreak card that you do not want it to move on. You don't want to start over. Yes, it's kind of like, no, I'm not going to move on from this. I don't want to heal. I want justice. And there is that feeling of being betrayed or being, yeah, I think being betrayed. Thank you. I think that feeling is is so strong. It's like the fire that is burning and that is causing the steam to build up and that is keeping the train in motion. Do you know what I mean? That's keeping that happening because you're keeping that fire lit. And this Ace of Cups is coming in and saying, no, look, let's extinguish that. That's the healthy way to move on. But it doesn't feel right now that you want to do that. I think you should. Because we've also got the Knight of Pentacles reversed here. This middle section, I think, is the key to where you are right now, but I will explain. So this potential outcome, again, this lack of spiritual connection, this lack of being able to stay calm, this Knight of Pentacles, the Knights, again, like this one here, the Knights are the ones that jump in, all guns blazing. They go where angels fear to tread, all of that. The Knight of Pentacles is about growth and about positive growth and growing an income, growing a future, growing a family, growing. In this instance, with this being reversed as well, it's like even your better, the angel, the devil on your shoulder, even the angel there is saying, do you know what? I think this is a bad idea, but maybe you got to get it out your system. The problem is, until you are able to start over emotionally, you're not going to heal from this situation. It's like, I don't use the word butthurt as a throwaway word, right? But you are so emotionally hurt right now that this is keeping you in this cycle. So it's keeping the emotions, and as much as your emotional subconscious is saying, look, actually probably we need to start over, we need to get over it a little bit and let it go, actually the sort of the night energy keeps coming in and going, no, fuck it, they fucking hurt me and I deserve to fucking hurt them back. Even though your spiritual self is going, okay, this isn't going to achieve anything. We're just going to get ourselves in more trouble. Let's let it go. That calling for vengeance, that very human reaction is coming through loud and clear. And I do think, in all honesty, my darling, that is going to hold you back in the long term if you don't find a way to let it go and to heal. I think if you fight back, it's going to end and it's going to escalate and it's going to get a lot worse for you and for your situation, and it will keep this heartbreak emotion. And I don't think that's somewhere you want to be long term. I really don't. But anyway, I hope that helps, MM. My advice would be, don't fight back. Let it go if you can. And let the universe deal with karma. Trust me, the universe has its own way. And the universe's idea of karma is probably a lot worse than anything you could ever dream up and get away with legally. And with that, my darling, I'm going to say thank you very much for your question. And I do hope that helps. Right then, oh, actually, look, I'm going to show you how I put the cards back in the deck. So I always leave spaces between each card as they go back in the deck, so they can't do what just happened. It can't be a fluke of, you know, or bad shuffle, because each of the cards always go back in with spaces in between them, like so. And there we go. And in fact, because there was a big chunk there on the front, I'm moving that to the back. So these cards now, right, the cards we just used are now somewhere in amongst all the rest of them. So there should be no way that the same cards can come up or cards next to each other can ever come up. But, you know, the universe works in a very different way, and so does my lovely dragon. Anyway, thank you very much. Let's have a look at the live comment section. Oh, thank you. The bell's a good volume, not too loud. Good evening, Crystal Rose. Hello, my darling. You love my radio voice. This is because I've got my in-ears in. I can hear myself with like a half a second delay, which is incredibly odd, and it's actually making me very aware of how I sound. The bell is okay for you, but you're not using headphones. Okay, thank you. Let's have a look. Yes, it was me, Crystal Rose, I believe. I set some gifted memberships out, and I actually only intend... What I thought would happen, right? I thought on a live stream, the only person that was on that live stream was a mod. And so what I was trying to do was to give that mod a membership. What I didn't know was it triggers 5 randomly across people that are on the channel, right? Just randomly, just random. And what I didn't know was that it would go to that person who was on the live stream and 4 other randomers. And that's what happened. So well done. You got yourself a free gifted membership. When I say randomer, I don't mean like that in any negative way. It just went to somebody that would was a subscriber on the channel and sometimes comes into the live streams. I don't know how that algorithm works. I thought it would give 1 out and save the others. I didn't know it would give them out in total blocks of 5. But yeah, there you go. What was I looking for? What did I just see in the chat? You did once see a triple rainbow. That was beautiful. I can imagine. I can imagine. Thank you. Has everybody remembered to hit the thumbs up? Can everybody please hit the thumbs up, because then you will be on the list.
You just made the list.
Yep, you just made the list. You'll make that list of wonderful human beings by hitting that thumbs up button. Forget revenge, as Patricia said, and vengeance. Wait for karma, who is the true embodiment of justice. Karma is amazing. Karma is wonderful, but it doesn't work in the way you think it works. There's a huge raven just landed on your balcony looking at you through the door. That's very cool. You know, I mean, you can see magic here behind me. Corvids are the most amazing group. So where we volunteer, yesterday we got a load of bread and sandwiches that were destined for the bin. So we, as always, go and feed my crow friends. That's what Rufus calls them. And we had seen about half a dozen congregating in a little park area. So we drove round, just threw the sandwiches out the door at the crows. As we did, I did my incredibly bad crow impression, which I'm not going to subject you to, although I kind of, it just goes, caw, caw, caw. It's like car and caw and a guttural, and you kind of mix it all together, but it's really bad. But because I've been doing it for a couple of years there, the crows know that that's me trying to badly pretend that I sound like a crow. Anyway, so they recognize it and they recognize my face, and sometimes you'll see them hovering around and just landing, because crows are so smart, they're smarter than dogs. Sometimes you'll see them like landing on 2 different rooftops, watching me, waiting for me to put the sandwiches out for them. So anyway, this time we drove to where they were and we threw out all this bread and these sandwiches to them, and there must have been 24 crows all coming down, and one of them started calling out to the others, and you could literally hear him going, "It's food, we've got food, everybody, food, sandwiches and bread, anybody want some food?" And all these other crows started descending from all around, and it was the most wonderful thing. And we were just sat there watching all of these crows eating all of the bread bits, taking bits off, flying over to, there was, you know, they had a good 6-foot radius of nobody around them, putting their foot on the food, pulling bits off and eating it and watching. It was so amazing, absolutely amazing. And then as we were driving out, a couple of crows did I call it the crow shot from the film The Crow. Every one of the films called The Crow will have one particular shot where the raven, because they are ravens in that film, but where the raven flies directly towards camera and up over the camera, or it will fly sort of from the camera and it will just do this move, and you'll see it. And that's what they were doing as we were driving away. They just kind of went like that as they went. It was so cool. It was so cool. It was brilliant. I loved it. So yeah, I love crows, ravens, corvids, all of them. Don't worry if he's gone off. He's come and looked at you. He said, "Hello, you're right." Lisa says hello, because crows are my calling card. Lisa says hello. You're right. All right. Everything fine here. Okay, bye. That's all it is. Yeah, absolutely. Oh God, I love them. I love them. There's loads of magpies again there as well. It's been so cool. It's been so cool. Love it. Anyway, thank you, my darling. I hope that helps. No problem. No problem. Thank you for saying I'm spot on. What can I say? I've been doing it 29 years for a reason. I know. If I knew how to market myself properly, right? If I knew how to do this YouTube thing properly, I mean, luckily, I've got an amazing friend who has stepped in on Instagram to help sort out my Instagram, because normally with Instagram, I'm like, button, do thing, make things do what thing do, make do thing, picture thing, look. I don't know how it works. But yes, let's have a look. You've been watching a YouTube channel about cleaning, and while that sounds boring, there's an amazing one called Ariel. I can't remember what it's called, but she uses Scrub Mummy, Scrub Daddy, and Scrub Mummy. I think she's from Sweden or Switzerland. I can never remember. It probably isn't even in one of those countries. She might be from Finland. I can't remember, but she's somewhere from that area, and she's got that European accent, and she says Scrub Mummy as Scrub Mummy, but she alerted us to using Scrub Mummy and Scrub Daddy cleaning products, and now they're amazing. And I went through a 5-minute ADHD hyperfixation of having to buy all of the Scrub Mummy and Scrub Daddy items, which I kind of did, and then cleaning the kitchen from head to toe and scrubbing everything and making everything nice and clean. Luckily for me, that only lasted a couple of days. But anyway, right, shall we have an open round? I still clean occasionally. I just don't have the hyperfixation to clean everything everywhere using all of the equipment. But anyway, enough about that. The round is open. Yes, the round is open. Let's go ahead and pop your question into the live chat if you would like a free question. Pop your question in the live chat, but also if you'd like to guarantee that your question gets answered next, you can send it through as a super chat. It is 8:30 here in the UK. We've got about half an hour left, so there's plenty of time for more questions. So do please go ahead and pop your question in as we speak. If you have asked a question already but weren't chosen, do re-put your question into the live chat. It works per round, not as a cumulative. What's the word? Cumulative. That's not the right word at all. Accumulator. It doesn't work in retrospect, so rounds from the past don't count now. Hopefully that makes sense. My brain's just deleted the word and I can't remember what it was. So that's kind of funny. Anyway, I've got to say a huge thank you to everybody who are members here on the channel. It really does help me continue to do what I do. And yeah, if you would like to join the membership, here's how you can do it. Did I just forget that I was opening a round and needed to play the video that tells you how to get your question in? Maybe I forgot. Maybe that was part of a very subtle marketing campaign that uses brainwaves or something. No, I just forgot. I meant to click this one. Anyway, if you want a question, go ahead, put it in the chat right now, starting with the word question, or send it through as a super chat. Okay, right then. Sorry about that. Let's have a look. So it looks as if I have 6 questions in on this round. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 questions in. Sick. Well, sick. In it, blood, boy. Yo. Is that how, do teenagers still do that? It's sick, innit? Wicked sick. Do they, is that... Have I just aged myself horrendously? Anyway, we have 6 questions. Don't. Oh, gosh. I'm still down with the kids, innit? I too am a teenager. Hello, fellow teenagers. Anyway, oh, God. I have 6 Lisa, you're 48 in 2 weeks' time. Shut the hell up. Oh, my God. Sorry, I'm so embarrassed. That's really funny. Right, okay. Just made myself laugh. Right, okay. Okay, fellow teenagers. It's gonna read. Oh gosh. Right, sorry. I am on a live stream. Come on, brain. Yes, it was funny. My brain just came up with 15 more things. But anyway, right. We on a live stream. So I have 6 questions in. So what I do when there's multiple questions is I take the jog wheel, you fellow teenagers, and I select a question at random by literally going up and down the question list that I have here. So who is in this round? Tonya Fallon, Amanda Kay, Aquilarius, Ellis Dodd, Moonlight 5 and Lavinia Ezrani. All of you are in with a chance to get the next reading. I will choose one person at random by closing, oh, there we go, closing my, hang on, my in-ears are falling out. There we go. Closing my eyes and literally clicking on one of them. Hopefully this is a person. Yes, it is. Question. Moonlight 5, you get the question for this round. Everybody else who asked a question, select and copy your questions and I will go through them. No, select and copy your questions and get ready to post it again when we open up the next round, if that makes sense. So then, Moonlight 5, you are up next. Hello, fellow teenagers. What's wrong with that? Oh gosh, the kids don't even say slay anymore. Oh God, I'm really out of date then. Slay queen, yay! I think that's how kids speak, isn't it? That's how the youth speak. Around here, they all say the F word and the C word. Fish and cats, fish and chips, yeah. Not very well educated in profanity. Oh, don't! I have been reading Shakespearean profanities, and I verily forsooth doth I want to swear in Shakespearean. Anyway, right, so Moonlight 5, you get the question, so we're going to swap cameras, and in fact, Moonlight 5, your question will be coming up straight after, oh, where is it gone? Straight after this. Sorry, everybody. Sometimes I get the giggles, and it might not be for what I've said. It can just be for something that has triggered a thought in my brain, and that thought doesn't have to make a lot of sense. In fact, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't actually make any sense. But anyway, right, Moonlight 5. Let's have a look. Does... oh, almost forgot to ring the bell. There we go. Completely changes the doodah. So, Moonlight 5, Wispy, does R understand I left him for good this time, and does he have any regrets about it? Okay, there we go. Does he understand, and does he have any regrets about it? Let's have a look, Moonlight 5. Sounds like it's a difficult situation for you, my darling, so I do hope you have a good network around you to help, because even though, as you say here, you've left him, obviously there are reasons for that, and hopefully you've got a support network around you, my darling, that can help you move on. Because even though you've left him, it's still incredibly difficult to when situations end. So hopefully you've got some support as well. Right then, Wispy. So let's do the drop. Are we cutting? Are we cutting? There we go. And let's have a look. So we're going to do... let's have a look. We'll do the... That's not a good one. Okay, I tell you what. We'll do your understanding, your partner's understanding, because it seems that's a key thing, and we'll do the future or the outcome for the relationship. Okay, so your understanding. 8 of Wands, absolutely. Oh, you did not want to do this, did you? This was like last resort. You did not want this to happen to get to this point. You really tried. You really tried. Right. So that's your position. Your partner's or your ex-partner's understanding. Ooh, still got the 2 in play. And right, okay, first of all of these cards are reversed, which means it feels like it was a difficult situation for everybody all round, and they're just it doesn't feel like there's any winners or losers. It doesn't feel like there's anybody that has won in this situation, if you get what I'm meaning. So where you are with this, the 8 of Wands is your suit of confidence, self-esteem, things like that. And it really does feel like where we're looking, hang on, where we are, where this has got to, right, with the 8 of Wands, for me, in a standard tarot deck, the 8 of Wands has this image where you've got the 8 Wands diagonally through the card. Now, my favorite deck, the deck that I use for about 18, nearly 20 years, that deck had them out of a window. And the way I understood that card was that you pick up each of these elements of your life that the 8 Wands represent. So in this case, they're fireworks. Okay, you get them all up, you throw them out the window, and then you run down the stairs and you pick up the bits that you want to take forward and leave the bits that you don't. This is still saying that, but in this case, it's a bit more of an explosive situation. So it's not a situation where you are just chucking them out the window. This is where you are literally creating drama and creating fireworks from this decision, and it's a big choice. Do you know what I mean? This isn't something where, oh, you've just thrown something out the window. If you happen to be passing the house at that moment, you can see it. If not, this is a situation that's going to affect a lot of people around you as well, and around are. But because it's reversed, it's saying that I think you were at your last, this was the beyond the last straw. This was the very last thing that you wanted to happen. But you also knew you had no choice at that point. This was what you need to do for you. And I think it's a situation that you are absolutely going to benefit from long term, because the 8s in the deck, for me, they always point to you at that point of the journey where you're almost, it's like the last lap is in sight. You can see that paper. Once you cross that line, you're on your last lap towards victory. It's literally saying that in this point in your life, you needed to do something drastic in order to maintain your sanity, maintain your confidence, maintain yourself. So for you, it feels like the only decision that was left. Therefore, it's got to be the right decision. In terms of how R sees it, again, wands. So this isn't romance. This didn't get to romance by the time things ended. This was, I want to say it's one of those, oh my gosh, there's a word for it. It's not parasitic, but it feels almost like that. This is one of those relationships where codependent, there you go. It felt, this card is signifying codependence, because what it's saying is, from R's perspective, he still thinks that there is a chance. He still thinks that there is a way for you two to be together. Now, I always say that the twos are two people coming together, but this is the weirdest version of that, because the two things depicted on this card are absolutely not equal. So this is where that codependency, parasocial, parasitic relationship type comes in, because for the candle to be in use, the match has to give up itself. It has to extinguish any of its own life in order to light the candle. That candle cannot give that sulfurous head back to the match. It cannot replace that. Once that candle is lit, the dynamic has shifted. And this is reversed, so it's saying that R doesn't want to admit this is gone yet. So in terms of, does he understand? The fact that this card's come up, the fact that it's reversed could be that finally that reality is sinking in. But I think he still thinks that there is hope. He still thinks there is potential for that to continue, even though in his case that candle will be half burnt, half the way down, the wick would have gone, and the box of matches is no longer even in the room. It still feels like the candle is holding out to get relit later down the line, if that makes sense. When we look at the outcome, we've got the Six of Cups. Now it's come up reversed, but I'll show you what it looks like upright. Sixes are largely about community, largely about the people around you. Cups is the emotional suit. So if Cups had been in here, it would have talked more about emotion, which is why I'm saying I don't think that this was a particularly romantic, a particularly emotional based relationship at the end, even though R still probably in their own head thought that it perhaps was. But the Six of Cups, there's the saying that it takes a village to raise a child. I think this is hinting at it takes a community, or it takes, you know, the people around you to let you know about your relationship status sometimes. Because sometimes you can be seeing someone and you think it's, you know, a monogamous, we're together, and for that person it's just a bit of fun. And then it comes down to one of your friends to go, oh, actually, you know, I saw Bob in the supermarket and he was pushing a trolley with Caroline, and they were a bit more than just friends shopping. There was a bit of smoochy, and you know what I mean. It feels like R is going to need the people around him, friends and family, to go, do you know what, in this instance Moonlight 5 is gone. They're out of here. Moonlight 5 is no longer your partner. They have absolutely left, and this is it. You are out of here. I don't think, the last part of your question, is there any regrets about it? I don't think that's going to sink in for a while, because I think there needs to be this element of other people saying, look, you need to move on, you need to let it go, you need to find a new partner, you need to get over, you need to, until this happens, I don't think there's going to be that level of understanding, because it feels as if, with this card, certainly, it feels as if the dynamic shift hasn't fully hit them yet. It's like, yes, the matches are missing, but they'll come back because I'm a candle. So, of course, you know, candles and matches, they go hand in hand. So, of course, it's meant to be. I'm the candle. Moonlight 5 is the match. Of course, that's how it goes, right? Yeah, not always. So I think understanding will come. I don't think it's there yet, but I think it will come. And when it does, that's when R is going to realize. And hopefully, my darling, that makes sense. I think for you, I think you're well out of it. The 3 cards coming up reversed is saying that I honestly think you're well out of it. But Wispy, I'm going to ask one more question, okay? For Moonlight 5's future, right, without R, I want one card to say how Moonlight 5 is going to go in the next couple of months. Okay, Wispy? One card to highlight Moonlight 5's next couple of months away from R. Ooh, right. You're... Okay, right. Mixed message. No, not mixed message. Mixed emotions. My instinct was, ooh, it's a sword. That's ooh. But it's the 8 of swords. So this is the truth is revealed card, right? The 8 of swords on a standard tarot deck will have somebody with their hands behind their backs, surrounded by swords with a blindfold on. And the card is talking about having the truth revealed. So I do think there is an element of the truth being revealed. So after the relationship, you're going to get to know probably a bit more about yourself and the relationship, if that makes sense. You'll learn more than you did through being with R, about yourself, about the relationship that was, about what you want, about how you set boundaries, all of that. But it is going to be moving you forward, and it is going to be a challenge because, again, it's reversed, and it is going to be a challenge. There are going to be times where it almost feels like you'll want to go back for some reason, or maybe R will reach out and you'll want to go back. But this is where you need to stay absolutely strong because this is reversed. As the blindfold is lifted, there's going to be a lot of bright light. Okay, and if you go with this analogy, if you've had a blindfold on for X number of months, weeks, years, whatever it was, the minute you take that blindfold off, everything around you is going to be so bright, so colourful, it's going to bring far too much information into your brain. It's going to be very overpowering. And the instinct would be to close your eyes to the truth, or to put that blindfold back on because it's easier. What you have to do is adjust to being out of this relationship and allow your eyes to adjust to the brightness, right? In the same way, if you wear one of those night sleeping masks to bed and you wake up during the daytime and it's full bright color, bright sunshine outside, you don't just take that off and then go walking around. The first thing you have to do is blink a few times, rub your eyes, all of that. Relationship wise, this is that same advice. Give yourself some time to rub your eyes, see things as they truly are. There's going to be, once you're out of this relationship, there is going to be more revealed about what happened within the relationship. Other people may say, oh, I'm really glad you're finally free because blah, 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 blah. And that is how, that is going to be difficult. But again, I think you need to stick with it. Wait for your eyes, your heart, but wait for your eyes to adjust to having that blindfold lifted and then start moving through and move on. I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really do, and wish you the very, very best. And I hope that helps. Thank you very much, Moonlight 5. And once again, thank you very much for the question. And again, please do let us know how things go in the weeks and months to come. It does feel like it's going to be a bit of a difficult time, but I am sure that everybody here would wish you nothing but the very best in that situation. So thank you very much for your question. Right then, let me have a look in the live chat. Thank you, Ed. Thank you. You've learned and still learn a lot. Thank you very much. It's going to be difficult, my darling. It's going to be difficult. Yeah, there's time for one more reading, so let's go ahead. I'll get to the chat as we go. I will, right then, hang on. I will go through the, Moonlight, I'm going to go through your chat as we go through the doodah. So, if you would like the last reading of the night, we've got literally 8 minutes left, so it'll be a quick reading. Do go ahead and pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. I will pop the banner on screen. As I do, I'm not going to play the video this time, so do please go ahead and, wrong banner. There we go. Do please go ahead and put your question in right now. I'm going to spend a minute just going through the comments. So then, excuse me. Shiza is a good word for shit. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Absolutely needed an answer since we are not talking, not many people to talk or trust over this. Very difficult. We were together for 5 years. I hope, my darling, that things do get better. Yeah. Too many people in the relationship and only this way. Yeah, only his way. Yeah, absolutely. I hope it helps. And I hope that being out of the relationship will actually kind of get better as it goes on, if that makes sense. Let me just have a look. It's been hard for the last 2 years and so many friends interfered with the partying, all drunks and addicts. This is it. This is where it's very difficult, because for you to turn your life around, especially with that eight of swords coming up in the potential for yourself, it would be quite easy to go, shit, I don't like how bright the colors are. I don't like how bright the sun is. I want to run away and go back. So please get some support for that. Please do get some support for that. Particularly if there were issues around those sort of subjects for yourself as well. Do make sure you get some support. So let me have a look. Oh, thank you, my darling. Thank you. I do say, you know, I'm good at this. It's one of the few things in my life that I'm actually good at, and I'm very proud to be able to offer readings to people on here. Wibbly wobbly timey wimey ether. Yes. Wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff is one of my favorite quotes ever. Right then, we will go. I'll give you all the time it takes for this 17-second video to play, and then I'm going to go straight into the next reading.
We have a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God!
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, and we're clicking on this one. Please be a question. Ellis. Oh, Ellis. Hang on. Hang on. I need to turn the banner off. Banner. That one. Click. And where's the comment gone? There. That one. Right. Hit that star. Click on that one. There we go. Right. Ellis. Hello. Sorry, it's a quick one. How to make sense of your current feelings for G. Okay. Let's have a look. So then, ring the bell, press, and we get Wispy's music on. So then let's have a wee look on the chat. Before I do need to change. Oh, no. What's happening? Hang on. Ugh. There we go. I'll play. Oh, I should have put this on earlier. There we go. Look, there we go. Was that what was happening on your balcony earlier, Patricia? The lovely crow or corvid or raven. So then let's have a look. Wispy, Ellis wants to know how they make sense of their feelings for G. Let's have a look. So then, don't forget, I am live again on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. UK time. So do come across and see us on there for that. That's a... Oh, thank you, fingers. Oh. Sorry, fibro hands. Not good. Right then, one more... Okay, you wanted a card to flip, Wispy, and that's what you've got. I didn't even do that this today. I didn't even have my little thing ready. So, Seven of Pentacles is coming up as a clarifying card, Ellis. So it's saying that there are some choices to make here around growth and around whether you harvest now or let things grow on for the future. It's like I should show you, shouldn't I? So Pentacles is career, work, finances, but it's also growth. And in terms of a feelings reading, then it really is talking about growth. So it's kind of saying, look, you could harvest the fruits now and see if there will be a second crop. So you could act now, or you could wait and see if things get bigger and better as they go along. The only problem, if you harvest now, there might not be a second crop. If you don't harvest now, the plant may go over and the fruit may go bad, may well get eaten by our little friend down in the corner here. So then let's do the drop itself. So that card in itself is giving you the should you act now? What is it? As Shakespeare said, should I hear more or speak at this? Let's have a look. Okay, another 7, the 6 again. You saw me shuffle. Everybody, just we're used to this now. The cards coming up again. Wispy likes repeat cards. So in the where you are, the 6 of Cups reversed. So there is a friendship group involved somehow. And it feels like, because it's reversed, it feels almost like you don't want to announce feelings because it will change the dynamic of the friendship group, or it will change the dynamic of the family group, or whatever the group is. It will change that dynamic, because 6 for me is about community, i.e. it can be wider community, it can be family, it can be work friends, it can be any group of people that are together, and that can be, perceived as a community. Emotionally, it feels like there's a lot at risk if you talk about feelings to G. Because of this reversal, it's almost like there is an element of not knowing coming with this 7, but also a fear of how the community is going to react to you letting this out. Right, if that makes sense, or moving forward with the feelings. In the what you need to know, we've got another 7. It's the 7 of Wands. So this is dealing with confidence, self-esteem, all of those type of issues. And again, this is reversed. So it's interesting that you've got the 1 dealing with growth upright, saying this is going to be an important time to make this choice. The ones dealing with your confidence, however, this being reversed is saying, look, it's almost like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, right? Whatever you choose, whether the feelings you have for G, whether those are romantic and you want to, begin a relationship or start something, that's going to be difficult. If it's negative feelings and you don't like this person, but the rest of the friendship group does, that's going to be difficult. It's like whatever you decide, it's going to be difficult. If you've got feelings for them in a positive relationship kind of way and you don't follow through on that and keep quiet, then that's going to bring up even more questions. And are you going to kick yourself in the long run? Is this something that you are going to regret doing because you haven't done it? And that is where this confidence comes up. It's like, it's also... this 7 is giving me a fear of rejection. It's like if you say to somebody that you like them and they don't like you back, you've put that out there. How is that going to affect the friend group, the community, the family, whatever that network of people is? So just be aware of that. The one thing I would say to that, though, I have always believed, since working in a nursing home at the age of 17, I have always believed, thanks to some of the older folk that were in there that are now long dead, but I have believed I would rather make the mistakes and regret the way they turned out rather than playing the safe road and never saying to someone that I liked that I fancied them, or never saying, here's this, here's that, this is where I am. I would rather take the risk, get knocked back, have to recover and move on, than never taking that risk in the first place. because that was their biggest regret. Whenever I would speak to somebody in the absolute last years of their life, that was the common thing. I wish I had kissed more boys. I wish I had, you know, told so-and-so that I fancied him. I wish I had, you know, hooked up with the neighbour next door after my husband passed away, or whatever it is. That level of regret is always the one that's there, not I wish I had played it safe. Do you know what I mean? So just bear that in mind, because with both of these being reversed, it's almost like whatever you say, whatever you do, there is going to be an impact. And it's like there's one possible wand that is still going to be healthy, even though it's cut from the branch and blah, blah, blah. There's one possible one that is going to be healthy, but everything else, it's like if you don't say something, is that going to be worse than saying something and dealing with the consequences? When we look at the future, you've got the Knight of Swords, so it is going to be a challenge. It isn't a romance card. It isn't a, you know, a wand card or anything like that, but it is a challenge. Now, there's nothing to say with this card that it's going to be a challenge in a romantic setting, or whether it's just going to be a challenge to kind of get over. But I think that quite often the Knight of Swords gets a really bad reputation because it's talking about acting really brashly and it's a challenge. But sometimes that challenge can help take us out of our comfort zone and push our own boundaries into a place where we can actually take that risk that these cards are maybe hinting that there's a little bit of fear-based paralysis. Does that make sense? Overall, with this Pentacles card coming in, it really does feel like, look, it's time to piss, or what is it? Poop or get off the pot. That's going to be your choice. And it really does feel like you've either got to say something or deal with the fact that you're not going to say something and to have to kind of deal with those emotions being quashed. Either way, I just think, Ellis, look, life's too fucking short, right? Life is too fucking short. If you've got feelings for someone, what is the worst that can possibly happen if you say to them, do you want to go out for a coffee as a date, as a first date? And you make it clear that you're asking them out on a date. What is the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is they say no, at which point you say, okay, if you're not interested, I get it. I just wanted to put it out there. I'm not going to make this weird, and I hope we can still be friends. Excuse me. If that's the worst thing that can happen, then if you can deal with that, then go and ask them. Because if you can deal with the fact that you might get rejected and that is your worst possible outcome, then anything less than that is a bonus. And with that, my darling, I'm going to say thank you very much for your question. I really do hope that helps. And sorry, it was the last one and we only had 5 minutes. And again, sorry to the mods. We only had 5 minutes, but we went 5 minutes over. So yeah, sorry about that. But what I would do is just go for it, my darling. Go for it. Yeah, you know, I would... Oh, hang on. Let me just break those up. I would rather, in all honesty, I would rather speak my truth, speak and say what's in my mind, in my heart, and deal with the consequences, rather than not say anything and end up in that situation where what could have been a really good relationship has ended up going nowhere. So yeah, with that, my darling, I will say thank you ever so much. And that is it for today. That is the last question of this evening. Right, let me just... Excuse me, everybody. My body's going, nope, come on, it's 9 o'clock, it's time to go. Yes, that's true. What's true? What's true? Thank you, everybody. Good evening, Lady V. It seems you're stuck either way. How are you stuck? Just say something. Say something. Hang on. You kept your feelings quiet, thinking she wouldn't be interested with you being trans, and now she started a surprising relationship with a woman and you're kicking yourself. Well, this is it, you see. There are more people out there that have more open minds, than you would ever believe. And it may well be that it might be that you've missed your chance. It might be that you've missed your chance, but it might not. So maybe see how things go. And it may well be at some point in the future that there will be a chance for you to admit to having some feelings. Or this may be a learning curve. This may be one of those moments that when you're in your nursing home at the age of, 107, because we're all going to live till we're 130 or something. When you're like 107 or 112 and a carer comes in to wipe your bottom, maybe, and says, "What do you regret in life, Grandad Ellis?" Maybe that's when you'll say, "Do you know what, young'un? I regret not asking out a woman that I was really interested in because I missed my chance." But at least you will know for the next person that you have feelings for to just go for it. That's where the community element comes in. Right. In that case, my darling, all I can say is bide your time, because it may well be that the relationship is a fleeting one rather than a serious one. But also be grateful for your friend and the person you've been interested in, because it may well be that you had feelings for somebody who is very special and has now met their special person, and they may well now be together for a long time. In which case that sucks for you. It really does. But if they've met each other and they are suitably connected and happy, and that is their, they've met their lobster, to quote Phoebe, then maybe at that point that was always meant to be. And yeah, it's going to suck for you, my darling, but at least in that case they have found each other. And hopefully the lesson learned is that if you do develop feelings for somebody else down the line, to maybe speak, and not wait, and not wonder, because again, you never know how somebody's sexuality can change. Just because somebody's always been with a particular type of person doesn't mean they're going to be with that particular type of person forever. And you do get people that come from, heterosexual cis relationships, and then end up dating trans people, people of the same gender, people of no gender, and that happens. And it's just how life works. And what I'm going to say to that is, isn't that beautiful in the long run, that humans have got that diversity and that courage in this climate? But anyway, getting off my soapbox. And thank you very much for your question, Alice. Thank you to everybody else who asked question tonight. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the members being here. And of course, thank you to every single person for watching. But again, I have to say my very special, extra special thanks for the moderators for doing an amazing, wonderful job. So thank you to all of you for tonight as well. But that is it from me. And as we always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and I will catch you next time, which will be on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Bye-bye.